Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video that we'll be explaining about the AWS Solution Architect introduction. And this playlist is mainly created for the network engineers who want to explore their networking skill in the cloud, or they want to switch to the cloud platforms. I think they can use this playlist for learning purpose. And this the is for the newcomer also who want to explore their the career with AWS. Yes, you can go ahead and start watching this video. Okay, and let's start. So AWS solution architect, right? So basically you in cloud, when I talk about the cloud networking, there are like different providers currently available. One is AWS and second is Google is there, Google GCP, and then we have Microsoft of Azure is there, and then Oracle is there. So there are different other providers out there, and currently AWS is also one of the major provider with respect to the cloud computing. And for the network engineers who want to explore their networking knowledge, or if they want to transfer from the networking normal network engineer role to the cloud network engineer role, I think this is the best course that you guys can learn. And especially why I'm explaining, because I'll be explaining in a way that how a normal networking terms as well as with the cloud networking terms, how they are like both are similar, how they like change the name with respect to cloud and they are using it, right? So that guys will be able to understand easily. Okay, let's go to the topic. So first we'll be explaining about the VPC introduction. VPC is nothing but your virtual private cloud in AWS basically. So basically in any cloud environment, right? So there will be a networking will be there, right? So you need to have some networking. So consider like in normal networking term, you have like working in some enterprise company where you have like four different sites are there, and you are considering working small networking engineer, and you have like site 1, site 2, and site 3 are there, and you will be having an edge gateway router here, right? And they'll be connected to the internet. Okay, so this is how the normal small like enterprise network look like, and this for the internet connection. And you will have your local server here. Here also you'll have local server. So all the informations will pass through from here to a gateway router, then goes to the internet, and then goes to the other sites, and then the user will be able to access those data. Or you will have the separate service provider network will be the instead of the like internet, you will go into the direct service provider. You will use the MPLS VPLS connection between the sites to make sure that your traffic or the data will not be exploited in the internet, right? So there will be different options that you can use it for the site to site connectivity. And the same thing what AWS does is, so all this basically you can see this from here, right, till here. So AWS will take care. You don't have to do anything on this part actually. So your only part is to have to create this server, and then you have the another server, and build and configure the basic connectivity, basic IP connectivity details, and then basic access list rules. Then do you need an internet gateway or not? You want to use the private or the public IP, right? So these are the options that you will be selecting as a in the cloud network engineer. And the remaining parts of the actual networking will be taken care by the AWS networking team. So from the cloud network engineer in any enterprise, you go there and then you create all this, and then you just have to make sure that all the migrations are done correctly, and all the IPs and users are access are created. So this is the main role of the AWS cloud engineer, networking engineer. So yes, so let's go into this. Hope you guys have the understanding. You don't do any like hardware like configurations mostly. So there will be direct to direct connections are there using BGP. So, but that rarely used. That mostly that is used in the big enterprise. If you are working in a normal enterprise or small enterprise customers, then you don't have to do anything. You just everything will be taken care by the AWS. So our basic role is to create a so the small servers or the big servers based on the requirement, and then you assign the IP and you need to establish a connectivity between these two IPs, and that is what you have to do. So this creating this this servers right here, so that's they call it as an EC2 instance. So basically they'll have the physical server, right, and it will be in any locations. Consider in Australia here, you have Sydney and Melbourne is there. Sydney slash Melbourne, where they have the physical data center is there. So you'll be creating this EC2 instance in Sydney or in the Melbourne. So that that option that you have that options to select whether it is a Sydney or it is in Melbourne, and then you'll have to make sure what IP subnet that you are going to use. So that will be in your hand, and you need to have like what type of, it's a private IP or public IP, and what is the ACL, whether do you need to DNS lookup, and all these things that you need to take care. Okay, but in normal network engineer, what you will do, you'll just have to create a router. You'll create some protocol like OSPF, EHGRP, or BGP. You create in the edge routers, and then you connectivity to the environment. If you're in a service provider, you will be configuring all this MPLS, VPN, BGP, then segment routing, then the other RSVP slash LDP protocols. You'll be learning the more new VPN protocols. So you don't have to do anything on this sort. This all will be taken care. All the routings between the data centers and all taken care by the AWS. So that's the beauty of the cloud, migrating to the cloud. You don't have to manage all this the connectivities and all. So everything will be managed. You just have to create the EC2 instance, map it to the normal basic networking terms. Okay, and so next is the VPC, but it's a virtual VPC is nothing but a virtual cloud. Basically, if you are a network engineer, like I said, like site 1, site 2, site 3, right? So in a location, let's say it is in India, right? Uh, so India, you will have like different locations are there, right? So where the servers will be hosted in India, and what you will do, you consider you mentioned that as an AWS region, right? Like they have like 34 regions already launched, and each region will have the availability zones. So the availability zone is nothing but the physical data center. Okay, so this availability zones are like isolated locations. They'll be in different locations. There'll be like two physical data centers will be there. Two to three data, like basically it's the availability zones in the two physical data centers will be there in each the regions when you select. Then if you go to the VPC, so the VPC is actually basically span over the availability zone, not between the AWS region. Consider I have one like India and I have an Australia, right? So I created one VPC here, one VPC. VPC is nothing but your private cloud with some IP address mapped to it. It's simple as that. Okay, so here I have in Australia. So this VPC, right? So I once I create one VPC in India, I cannot use this VPC in Australia. So I need to create another VPC in Australia. Hope you guys are getting. It's basically in networking terms. So you have one, so you have one network, right? And for India, you will be considering 10.0.0, and then you will do the this is supernet. This is a supernet subnet, and from there you will do the subnetting, and then split into different locations here, right? Different location based on the site you will create the IP and then give. Same thing like for India, how you are creating, same like for India region you will have one VPC, virtual private cloud, and for Australia you have one VPC. For like that 34 regions are there that you want to use, all these 34 regions will have a different VPC. Basically you will allocate the different IP address. IP address IP range basically to each location. They can overlap, but in case if you want to have that one region, one VPC to connect to another VPC, then you need to have a unique IP address. So that it's same like in networking. When you have like in India you're using some other IP, and in Australia you're using some other IP, right? Same IP, then you will have the IP conflicts will happen. Then the connectivity will not be able to establish it. You want to try, but in case if you use a different IP, then you'll be able to change the routing table. Then the based on the routing table, the switching will happen. So this routing table import and export will be taken care by the AWS. You don't have to do anything on this sort. Yeah, so hope you guys understand. I'll give you one more link where you can check the availability zones. Here you can see they have like a different regions, 34 regions here you can see in green color, right? So they have an availability zone, 3 availability zone in each regions here. And wherever you see that red color, that's an upcoming. So Thailand and Taiwan and even in Saudi Arabia, they are building the physical data center for the for the cloud networking. So these are the available currently which are up and running across the globe. So you can refer this. I'll give this link to you guys in the description so that you guys also can explore where are the where are the available regions. Regions is nothing but the country, and the availability zone is nothing but the data center in a simple term. Yeah. Next is VPC, right? So consider I am a network engineer. I'm a network engineer, right? So when you go and talk about the guys who only knows the cloud networking, right? Who learned the newbies who knows only the cloud networking, they'll say cider, cider, cider. So it doesn't know like maybe they don't have much exposure. But if you're a normal, even if you're like network engineer, site has nothing like this is what the IP address subnetting that supernet that will be using it, the CIDR range. And this side, basically what happen if you have site A, what you will do, you have like one supernet 10.0 for a location for India, right? I have 10.0.0.0/16 will be allocated. And then what I will do next is like location like Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, you will allocate 10.0.0.0/24. Then next, you will go to, Karnataka. You will allocate 10.0.0.1.0/24. So like that, each locations like you will be allocating the different subnets, right? From SuperNet, you will do the subnetting. You'll do the subnet from supernet. You'll do subnetting, and then allocate the IP address availability based on the locations and the user number of users and how many routers and servers are there. So you basically split that into multiple subnetting. The same like in same like in VPC, right? You have one VPC, like this is they consider like VPC. Okay, one I created, and then here I have like 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, and then what I will do, I'll create a subnet. So this subnetting only they call it as a subnet. So basically they are creating the subnets. So this subnet you say like 10.0.0.0/24, right? Here again there is 10.0.1.0 subnet 1 subnet 2 consider /24. Okay, so what they do is this will be allocated to availability zone 1, and this will be allocated to availability zone 2. Okay, but you cannot overlap this. You cannot use one availability zone IP into the another availability zone. That is not working. Same like if you are using some IP range in one location, you cannot go and use it in the other location. So if you use it, what will happen, you'll have the IP conflict will happen, and then the traffic will not be able to pass. So that's the same concept they use it here. Instead they say like basically normal networking, what you say, one location IP you will not use in the other side. One PC IP you will not use in the other PC. One router IP you will not use in the other router. Right? Same thing. One availability zone allocated IP subnets you will not use it in the another availability zone subnet. Same thing will be goes to the VPC2. consider you created another VPC here, right? For this /16, or I can use 10.0.0.0/16